Every year, 140,000 people living in Citrus County, Florida, generate more than 200 million pounds of trash, about 1,400 pounds for every man, woman, and child in the county. And nearly all of it is brought here, to the Citrus County Central Landfill Solid Waste Disposal Facility. Business is good and growing. In 2011, the county put the finishing touches on an expansion, enabling the landfill to continue operating for another 25 years. But even as construction crews worked on excavating the new landfill cell, the county's current facility was developing a critical problem, one that could jeopardize its ability to operate within approved EPA guidelines.
Back in 2007, during this video inspection of the pipes, they noted some deformation in the pipes. And as they continued to inspect the pipes, they noticed the deformation increasing. So we knew that there was a problem.
We knew we had a major problem, so we wanted to come up with a solution to that problem. We wanted to do that the best expeditious way that we could to go ahead and save the landfill. And it was very important that we look at several options to do that.
Every year, the Citrus County landfill generates about 3 million gallons of liquid known as leachate. To avoid contaminating the soil, the leachate must be pumped out of the landfill cell and treated at a specialized facility on site. The removal of the leachate is a process mandated by the Florida EPA. The pumps are placed at the bottom of the landfill, inside of a 220-foot riser, a high-density polyethylene pipe that extends to the surface and serves as a well casing to house the leachate pumps and discharge piping. Over time, pressure from the surrounding landfill material can compress and deflect the polyethylene pipes, reducing the effectiveness of the pumping process, making maintenance and pump replacement difficult or even impossible.
As the problem in the pipes became worse and they collapsed more, we tried to get some small pipes down there. It didn't seem to be working. Eventually, all the pumps went out to the point that it became an emergency.
If we were in a situation where we could not remove leachate from the bottom of the landfill, we were in a situation where we'd be in violation of our permit, violation of state regulations.
If they were out of compliance, they would have had to have entered into a consent order. There could have been fines. There could have been all types of things going on if that had occurred.
Worst case, we could have been forced to close the landfill.
The options for fixing pipe deflection in a landfill are limited, risky, and potentially very expensive.
We thought there was enough room to basically put some insert pipes down through the larger diameter, the 24-inch diameter pipes, possibly a 6-inch pipe or something that we could put some smaller pumps in. And the only other viable alternative that we could identify is we can dig the waste out and replace the sumps. But in order to do that, we're talking about digging out approximately 70 or 75 feet vertically of waste.
The problem with that one is, that option is that it would be roughly a $3 million job to excavate down 80 feet and maintain the side slopes at an angle such that it was a safe working environment.
So you're looking at a hole that's going to be 300 to 400 feet in diameter. You've got to be able to get down there with trucks, so you're going to have some kind of access road. We're going to want to, you got to put the waste that comes out of the hole somewhere, and then we don't want to lose the capacity, so you've got to come up with a way of recompacting waste into there, which is why you have to have an access road into it. So you're looking at a major excavation of waste and probably a multi-million-dollar solution.
The third option was to rehabilitate the pipe through a technique called rerounding, a process invented and patented by Ohio entrepreneur and inventor Dick Williams.
I came from a landfill in Ohio where we had a similar situation, and I knew that they could be rerounded, and it just so happens that one of the persons involved in that was James Williams' grandfather.
We found Williams as a company that specialized in expansion of pipes of this type and had experience in it.
Grandpa's premise was that if we introduced vibration from inside of the pipe, we could compact the bedding and rearrange the particles into the correct position while we were pulling something round through the pipe.
More than 30 years ago, Dick Williams developed patented technology to reround PVC sewer pipes, allowing contractors to correct deflection problems and avoid costly re-excavation and pipe replacement. Similar problems occur in landfills, only magnified due to the depth of the pipes that deflect and the limited one-way access to the deflected areas. This led Williams to develop a rerounding system just for landfills, the same system Casey Stevens saw in use in Ohio.
Kind of a small world thing that I, come 1,000 miles from Ohio and to a landfill in Florida, and we have a similar situation, and by coincidence, our consulting engineers identified Williams Rerounding as a company capable of doing this work.
We use different equipment in the leachate wells than we do in a sewer pipe. In a sewer pipe, both ends are open in the manhole, so you have access to pull and push and those types of things, where in a landfill pipe it's more like a well where you don't have access to the other end of the pipe.
Stevens went before the Citrus County Commissioners and presented the options. 1. Install smaller temporary pumps and lines that would fit inside the deflected pipes. 2. Dig out a huge hole from the landfill to remove and replace the riser pipes at an estimated cost of up to $3 million. Or 3. Take a chance the Williams rerounding system could restore the pipes to their original shape and function.
I did know that there was some risk involved in that there was no guarantee that this would work, and we could potentially just be spending money on time and materials and not and then have to move on to the third option.
They would be faced with having to first remove the mountain of waste that is on top of the sump area that they would have to get down to. And in order to do that, they would have to move that onto a place that's permitted to receive that waste. If that's in their active cell, that's adding construction traffic in with the waste flow, and it's eating up their capacity.
In the Citrus County case, all 4 riser pipes had deflected more than 120 feet below the surface of the landfill. A video inspection clearly showed the changing shape of the pipe's interior, narrowing the opening to just 2 inches at the maximum deflection point. As the pumps at the end of the pipe began to fail, the pinched riser pipes made it impossible for engineers to remove the failed pumps and install replacements. Leachate could no longer be pumped out, putting the entire landfill at risk of being shut down. When the Williams crew arrived in Central Florida, Stevens and Bruner were hopeful but anxious.
There's a lot of art in it versus science, and it's done really by the feel of the operators and the experience of the crew that's on site.
It didn't take long for the process to yield results.
They immediately started making progress, and we were optimistic from a week or 2 into it that they were going to have luck with it. They made a lot of progress in the first week or 2. They were able, I think they attacked the worst of the pipes, the one that actually had a pump stuck in it. They were able to get the pipe open to the point that they were able to get that pump out.
These inspection videos were taken following the rerounding procedure. They show the riser pipes now open from one end to the other. The before and after photos clearly show the difference.
And the pumps were stuck either below that spot or in one case that deflected spot was deflected right on the pump, and the pump was trapped in that deflected area. After we were done rerounding, the pipes we would open from something that was deflected down to 2 inches, we would open to about 10 inches to allow some flexibility for the wells as they would meander from side to side or up and down, that we could insert the 6-inch rigid liner.
By successfully rerounding the pipe, the Williams crew was able to remove the trapped pumps and insert stainless steel liner pipes inside each of the original 4 polyethylene risers. The liner pipes were installed right into the cell's original sump, the deepest designated point in the cell. Flanges were then installed on the outside of the well to seal the new liner pipes to the existing well. And when the new pumps were installed, the system was restored to normal operation.
It just gave us a little more room to work, and it gave us more confidence, because the pipes we would have had to slip slide down the small diameter pipes, there's no guarantee that they would have enough structural integrity to withstand, the continued deformation of the leachate riser pipes.
They're basically back to what they had before, with the exception of before they had a 24-inch diameter pipe for access. Now they've got a 6-inch diameter pipe, which means you're limited to smaller pumps.
By using the 6-inch pipe, we were able to get a large enough pump down there where we can extract water from the bottom of the landfill in sufficient quantities to maintain compliance.
If the plastic pipe deflects back, which more than likely it will, the pressures are still there, it's been pushed open, but it's probably going to collapse back. The intent is that the 6-inch diameter steel pipe is strong enough that it will stop that deflection, and we won't see bending or crushing within the 6-inch pipe.
And when we installed the liner pipe, it was within about an inch of their original sump. We were right in the exact spot where their pumps needed to be because they had rerounded.
4 months later, with the Citrus County landfill now back in compliance and operating normally, Casey Stevens appeared before the county commissioners to recap the project.
And this is something we're very proud of and very pleased to report. We came in quite a bit under budget. The project was very successful, number one. Number two, we were able to complete it not only under budget, but way ahead of schedule. So we were able to save a significant amount of money. We came in 35% under budget, which we're very pleased with and proud of, quite frankly. And a final report has been submitted to the Florida Department of Environmental Protection.
But we had allotted $1 million for this project. We're absolutely tickled to death that the outcome came out very well, because what we did was we went ahead and we were about 35% under that budget, and the problem has been corrected, and with all the information forwarded to the Florida Department of Environmental Protection.
By doing this permanent fix, by doing this rerounding process, we've basically been able to maintain operations.
As we were able to reround the pipe and install the liners, within a few months, they went from a problem that they didn't know the answer to something that was quite ahead of schedule and under their budget to repair.
And for Bo Bruner, the entire experience led him to one clear conclusion regarding how to advise future landfill clients facing similar pipe deflection problems.
I would advise them basically to proceed the way Citrus County did. You just got to get the engineers involved, get your personnel involved, try to come up with solutions, and if the rerounding is one of them, I would definitely, I would look to Williams as a source of that. As far as I know right now, they're the only ones in the country that can do it.